aim for this really, it ties in with the present and grounding subjects that I tend to touch on a lot. And it's something that I like to tell myself in times of recovery, we'll call it. If your aim is to try and develop after a setback, then something I like to tell myself is that you can't get from 0 to 100 without going through one. All that really means, to me at least, is I'm in a situation where I know that there is kind of a process to getting back to where I think I want to be in terms of mentality, happiness, work, everything like that. It could be any parameter, but for me, and a lot of people tend to forget that where they're at and where they want to be, there is a very long process in the middle, and it's a process that no one really wants to do. No one really wants to be, experiencing the bad side of getting back on their feet, or having to do the hard yards or the graft to get to where they are in terms of a good job or a good relationship with themselves, or anything you kind of view as success. And it is kind of another technique, like the breathing techniques, in grounding yourself. Because for me, I always view the end goal, the 100, as kind of the only step, almost. Or I should speak in the past tense, because I try not to now, but it still happens. But I would see kind of one step, essentially, in I am here now and I want to be here. I need to get there, and establishing something to tell myself that clearly there's a lot more that needs to be done before you're hitting 100. And it can almost work in the opposite way as well, in terms of there have been a few days recently where I've struggled. Like I said, the bad days, they happen. There's not a load you can do about it. I try to just accept it, try and find the good in it, and then move on to the next day. But within those days, using that same analogy works as in a kind of specific scenario. There was one time where I was just sat in my car, just I hope a lot of you, I say a lot of you like I'm not speaking to myself, but I hope you understand and experience that too. It happens when you just sat in the car. And I use that same analogy. I was like, I can't expect to get to 100 without going through 1, 2, 3, 4, every single one of those steps, and they're all part of it. You're not going to have the mental agility or the experience or the knowledge to kind of gather everything from the situation and get to 100 and be like, okay, I've learned X, Y, Z. I understand this now, and it's put me in this position. That is the whole point of the process, and that's something I would tell myself also in using the same statement in two different ways. It's part of being your own friend, I think, is when you get caught in those bad moments to say, this is only step 2 out of 100, and you need to experience this. It's part of the whole process, is understanding how you felt in those times, what it provided for you in terms of a means of development and how you used it. So for me, it's become something that's almost universal in my experiences, whether I'm getting carried away with myself, thinking that, you know, I'm having a good day and I'm breezing through life, and then I can kind of ground myself and be like, okay, you know, you might be on step 5 now, but you've got to get to 100, and you've got lots of incremental steps to go. So be happy with where you are right now, but understand that there's more that you need to learn from this in order to get to where you want to be. You can't get to there without learning and experiencing. You know, no one has gotten to any great position of work, money, relationship with themselves, mental health. You know, they haven't got to any solid point of that without having the same experience. You can't have that understanding and knowledge and that kind of wisdom without experience. So everyone that you look up to has been in the same position, and this is your opportunity to learn from them and understand exactly what's going on and how you can get to that step. You know, you've almost been set out a guide from other people. Obviously, your experience is completely individual and completely down to you. You have all the control. So it's not to say that you should follow other people or copy their experience, but it's a good way of, again, grounding and kind of reassuring yourself and saying, look at any major figure in anything. They have had all these experiences where they've been down, or they've had a setback, and they've had to kind of gather themselves, understand the situation, and then build from that to get to where they are. That's how they have all the information they do. So, although it's short, it's to say that implementing these things to ground yourself in the present is what's going to be your key in developing every step, instead of trying to develop this while looking 100 miles down the road. You're never going to get to where you are properly or efficiently even. So if it's a bad day, if it's a good day, if it's a nothing day, just feel like you need to remind yourself you can't get to 100 without going through steps 1 to 99. So that's what you're going through. Be okay with it and understand the goodness that can come from it if you choose it to. So understand it, develop it. Be kind to yourself.